right, welcome everybody. Welcome to another breaking news, and hopefully I got some good clips for everybody. We actually got Bigfoot Anon, who's actually on the trail right now. I mean, researching as we speak. Guys, you can't get any more better breaking news than that. Now, hopefully we'll see a Bigfoot attack him from behind. We get actually footage, but I don't know if Bigfoot's going to hit, going to attack him or not. So, what trail are you on?
Sorry, the audio was a little messed up. I was just fixing it. But right now, I'm at the Garden of Eden Trail, which is so sacred. It's right in between Ocheesee Pond and Torrey State Park. And of course, after 1800. Beautiful trail, 27 of the 28 trees in the Bible. It is deep ravines and awesome valleys, tons of forest language in every direction. And then there's this 19-stop little tour pamphlet. So I'm putting together a video, and it's magical out here. I'm right by this crystal clear creek that I drink out of with my filter straw, and it's just a magical morning. I was hoping to get home all the way back time to start, but oh man, you get yourself just hooked into nature and you just take your time out here.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So since we got him a little bit, guys, we'll go right into the Bigfoot. But remember, guys, some of this footage you might have already seen. But remember, not everybody's from a Bigfoot community or a UFO community. So some other people might not have seen some of this footage. So remember, so if you've seen it, hey, share your knowledge. Share your knowledge of what you know about the footage for the people who don't. This is what the whole channel is about. It's about taking the communities as one, looking at different communities, different footages, and just having fun. So like I said, if you've seen the footage, tell people in the chat what you know about it. Because remember, not everybody has seen every footage you think they have. All because you've seen something, it doesn't mean they've seen it. So Connor's out in the woods. He'll try to pop in, but you can see that he's having some internet issues and all that. But beyond that, let's jump right into the Bigfoot. All right. So, guys, today I actually got 3 different Bigfoot footages. I'm saving the best Bigfoot footage as the third one. So, for this segment, that guy right there is not going to be Connor Flynn. We're going to call him Young Gun Anon, because the third footage might be about this guy named Connor Flynn. I don't know. So, as of right now, as you guys say, well, that guy knows that guy, so he might be favoring it. So for this segment, that is Young Gun Anon. That is not Connor Flynn right there. So beyond that, let's check out this first Bigfoot footage.
We're not quite sure.
I don't get it.
Well, a local fisherman, his name is 66-year-old John Rodriguez. He's from Tampa. He snapped this photo at Lettuce Lake Park. That's on the Hillsborough River near USF. Well, you're probably thinking, is this real or just a hoax? Well, we kind of dug into it. Rodriguez has not responded to our comment, although he did send us this photo. However, a weird news writer for Huffington Post did. Lee Spiegel says he got the photo too. He told me over the phone he worked with a former FBI agent to look at the metadata. Now that shows when the picture was taken, the shutter speed, whether a flash was used, or if Photoshop was used. Sure enough, it was photoshopped. Now, Spiegel says he confronted Rodriguez, who told him he only saved the photo through Photoshop. Now, whatever you believe, Spiegel says this may be a hoax, but his hope is that soon we can figure out and believe that Bigfoot does live among us. Well, whatever you think. But Mayor Bob Buckhorn even gave his 2 cents about this picture. He says, I saw what Winter the Dolphin did for Clearwater. Just think what a Sasquatch could do for our tourism numbers. Well, if it fails, maybe he could fill in the offensive line for the Bucks. He had some good jokes there, but what do you think?
I think it looks so real. When I first saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, it's Bigfoot.
Ah, forget about it.
I can't
They're
believe it.
usually shown from far away, blurry, but
Okay. Now, the reason I'm showing that footage or that newscast, they actually did the correct thing. They studied it. They looked at it. They actually have people looking at it. And with experts, I'm not saying these experts are right or wrong, but these people are saying that the picture is Photoshop, and that's fine. You need people to make sure that the stuff that comes out is real and people are not using fake pictures, fake this, just for themselves, because that doesn't help the community. That hurts the community. So I like the fact that they actually had their own people look at it. Now, hopefully their own people aren't lying, but what I've seen with several other channels on this footage is it is Photoshopped. And then the guy is saying, well, I just use Photoshop. Well, I mean, that could be true. I mean, I've taken photos and put it on a program to brighten it up, to get it a little brighter. So I have done that to change the brightness. But what I've heard and seen, this footage is Photoshop. So Connor, have you, I don't know how your internet is at. Have you seen that picture before?
Yes, I remember when that picture first, hit the circuit waves, and I was so excited. I was like, Lettuce Lake, Skunk Ape. Oh, man, I was super excited. And it does look really cool. But then I did start to see the breakdowns and then seeing that same similar image other places. Not, we'll say, 100% hoax, but mostly lead in that direction.
Yeah. And like I said, and that's fine. You're supposed to look at everything. I mean, you're not supposed to just, if you out there say everything is real, then, there's reasons why people thinking that, these guys don't believe anything. They'll believe that a piece of turd came from a Bigfoot, and you don't want that. So you want, you try to debunk all the fake stuff and get it, what's left is what evidence is. But beyond that, let's leave this one. This next one is, what's this called? I forgot what's the name of it's called. This next one is called Sasquatch Sightings happening in Michigan, thanks to a man in Michigan. So let's see what he's talking about.
Moment from our coronavirus coverage. Tonight we have another installment of Our Michigan Life that was done before the stay-at-home order took effect. 13 on your side's Brent Ashcroft takes us to the Lansing area where sightings of a legendary beast are being reported.
Sasquatch has been a slice of North American folklore for decades. They supposedly live in the wilderness. Some even claim to have seen him. A mid-Michigan man is making sure sightings are more common. His encounter as a kid and his creations because of it in Our Michigan Life.
Plowing forward, particles bouncing like a billion super balls. Chris Ketchum,
I've been into woodworking,
is making an impression.
got a pattern drawn out and started making them.
What is it?
Bigfoot silhouettes that you set in your yard
Okay, why?
to see what people would do.
He put one next to his barn.
It looked like he was walking out of the woods, and people started stopping out on the road and checking him out, taking a second look. That made me want to do more.
The more Sasquatches he shapes, the more he sells.
People started calling me and said, I didn't know anyone made those, and I want one.
Chris's obsession,
It happened probably back in late 60s.
Okay, I don't think I need to show any more of that, but this is inspiring a lot of ways, people, because he's taking the love of a Bigfoot, and the man himself from Michigan has said he has had an encounter, so it had an effect on his life, and he's using it for, hey, if he can make money from it, it's fine. He's making a metal Bigfoots, and if you go across the United States, you've seen those almost everywhere. People is buying them, so I like inspiration like that. Taking something that has happened to you and do something with it. You got the skills of a carpenter. I support that. I love shit like that. That's why I'm showing that. I'm showing that as inspiration. Like, take your love, and if you could do something with it, make something out of it. Hey, all it does is helps promote the community. That's all it does. You think, well, that guy's all greed. It's not greed. He found a way to take something that happened to him in his life, and he's making $1 from it, and it's spreading the word of Bigfoot. So what do you think, Connor, about that? Oh, I'm sorry. Bigfoot.
I love it, man, because I love those signs that are on the side of the road that say, this is proof that this works, you know? So it's awesome having the roadside attractions, and it's a beautiful thing. And I'm a big fan of the Bigfoot silhouette. I think it's so stupid when, you know, it goes viral on Facebook for being a sighting. You know, a lot of these people like get it twisted and they're like, oh, that's a Bigfoot. They got to tell the difference between these 2D silhouettes and in real life 3D, you know, people and deities. But I definitely commend it. I want one too. I have a skeleton that hangs outside of my trailer, so I definitely stay festive all year round too.
You said something very true, very cool. You said, like, all because something got a lot of hits. You know, it's like music. Some bands actually, for whatever reason, the one song gets them all huge and big. Now everybody hates them because they're big. It's like you can't help to control what's huge, what gets big. You should appreciate that they're out there. You know, the band's out there. That means they can stay longer. Their music could be longer because they're making money out of it. This guy can keep producing Bigfoots. Doesn't matter how popular and big he gets. It doesn't take away on why he did it in the first place. Sometimes that gets lost on popularity. Because watch, Bigfoot and on, watch. One day you're going to be a huge superstar, right? You're going to be starring in a $100 million movie. Then people are going to say, he sold out to us. No, you didn't. You just secure your future to be able to continue this going. People don't understand how much money this stuff costs. And if you can secure it, you're not selling out, which I hope you do make a $100 million movie. You get to that point. But you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. There's always going to be naysayers. You know, I get people saying that I'm selling out, trying to sell my self-published books and trying to get people to see Zillafoot. But we're just going to keep on keeping on and moving forward on the trail and on the path. And there's always going to be these people that try to gatekeep you. And when you got that new wave, that new energy, that new information, of course, the old people are going to try to buck you down at every step of the wrong, man. But you have to just carry forward.
People do it to me all the time. Eric, why do you have a button that people could join your thing? Listen, if I could make some money and buy better equipment, better cameras and stuff, why would I not do it? I mean, anything that gets donated here gets put right back into the show 100%. So, you know, it is. But now this next video, now a lot of people have heard the Great Florida Bigfoot Conference 2022, which Connor Flynn is part of. That's Young Gun. Oh, no, that's not Connor. But I got some footages that I am going to show. I'm going to skip around to 15-minute into the video, and I'll have a link after the show so you can watch the whole video. The whole video is about 30 minutes. It's about a guy who actually filmed himself going into the con. So some people want to know, what does a Bigfoot con even looks like? Well, let's find out, guys.
Cook a Bigfoot. Things, and I figured. As far as the Bigfoot can see. Some casts of Bigfoot.
I made quite a big change and went in a different direction with things.
And we cannot escape the Fiji mermaid. Bigfoot the game. Bigfoot.
Hair in their arms.
I'm gonna jump to some guest speakers that they're gonna speak, but I wanted to kind of I'm not gonna show the whole 30-minute thing, but I want to kind of show people that when you think of a con, you know it's huge. I mean, look at all the merchandise and some of these clips. You see a lot of the people walking around. I mean, and then you hear the noise. So these cons are bigger than what you think of, you know. Yes, I go to mostly comic book cons because that's the only kind of con that comes to Seattle. our Bigfoot cons out in Yakima. I wish there was more, but if they're here, I would be there supporting, buying stuff from local people and all that. But let me skip here. They had a guest speaker, Young Gun Anon. And let me go here. Let me go back here. There's a round table called Skunk Ape Round Table. And what they did so brilliant was they had this new Young Gun guy. You know, he's a YouTube sensation, but you don't know how he's going to handle talking to people from behind of a, you know, doing shows like this. We know people are watching, but it's different when you're actually speaking to people in front. There it is. Your mind frame is different. It's like when I go to work as a manager, I have supervisors are talking to the people. It's different talking to them real from behind. So what did they do with this young gun? They don't know how he's going to perform. So they have a legend guy, Stacy Brown, go behind him. So if this guy fucks up, Stacy Brown could jump right in and save him. But let's see how this guy handles it. Let's check out this new guy of this con. Let's see here.
The Skunk Ape Roundtable.
So Connor, as high energy as possible, is speaking to everyone, but especially to the next generation of squatchers. You guys here, I see you down there, all zipped up. How do they get into it? Why is it accessible to them? And and how do they get rocking and find their zone like you?
Now more than ever, it's being talked about on different platforms, different radio shows, even animated movies are bringing it to the forefront. But you guys have to keep your wide lens, because a lot of people get stuck in their little tunnels, and like everybody has said, these creatures, they surprise us at pretty much every turn. So we will never truly figure them out, and once we start boxing them in, we're going to miss important information. I love talking about how we are particle form 99% of the time, but in our true moments of being, we can become waveform. So I think those, creatures in the woods, the elementals, the fairies, and all the other deities out there, they're not as poisoned as us with Wi-Fi, fluoride in our water, and just petty, responsibilities that we have to slow down our natural instinct for. So I say, experiences come in many different ways. Like, write down your dreams in the morning. Keep your eyes open when you're driving. But don't be scared to say you believe in Bigfoot. Luckily, I'm a long-haired hippie guy, so people approach me with pretty open arms. And I've gotten some crazy stories. And just drawing correlations with Florida, Ohio, the Yowie over in Australia, the orang pendek in Indonesia. There's tons of similar things that they all have their different variants, and it's awesome to just dive into it. Just here in Florida, we have 3-toed skunk apes, we have the 4-toed skunk apes, we have maybe the Tennessee Titans that come down when it gets too cold, and we have so many caves over in the Panhandle where Stacy and I are from. Go down into the aquifer, and if you guys saw, Godzilla this year, they talk about the dome, they talk about Middle Earth, they talk about aquifers. So it's starting to hit the forefront. So I'm just going to keep pushing it forward. But this is my church.
You need everything. You need all the ingredients to make the pie, and you have to listen to everybody. So if you're closed-minded, if you've already got it in your head that it's a flesh and blood creature, you're never going to find nothing. You're going to find what you want to, but you won't prove it. I'm at the point now, because there's also UFO encounters with these, with some of the Bigfoot encounters. I think when we end up...
I'm going to pause it there for a second, because I want to tell you guys something. I feel we all have gifts. My gift, my opinion is, I am a good judge of people. I could study people. I know how to like talk to people in different ways depending on where they're from. I know that technique and stuff. One of the things when people talk in front of people, when you know that they're new and stuff, is because a lot of times you start forgetting things what you want to say. You do. It's a natural thing where you draw blanks. That man on there, I don't know if Young Gun Anon knows that Connor Flynn guy, but that guy, there was no skips. There was nothing. I mean, he talked straight through, energy, didn't forget a thing. He added in so much stuff. And what I was impressed, even when Stacy Brown got on, he was talking a little bit about UFOs and Bigfoot. I'm telling you, there's a lot of cons. I bet you there's a lot of people that won't talk about UFOs with the Bigfoot. Those two guys weren't afraid to talk about anything, and that Connor Flint guy did not skip a beat. I mean, that talk about in a natural spot. That's a natural spot. I'm impressed. So, young gun or not, were you impressed by that Connor Flynn guy?
Oh yeah, he got the crowd rocking. He definitely he had it rolling. The vibe was right. He was preaching that information. No, it was awesome. Mixture of comedy, mixture of great information with the crowd. Also, making fun of myself and the rest of the people there. We're all at a Bigfoot conference, and the rest of the world, thinks we're all crazy lunatics, but we find joy in that. And I can't wait to watch the full video, just because I was so bombarded from every angle at that conference. I was out in the parking lot, drinking and smoking as well too. So a lot was happening. So I can't wait to watch it back and really cherish what I've lost. But man, yeah, there was awesome speakers there. The Mid-Florida team started off big. Really made it easy. It looked like he was there amongst friends, and with Stacy and RPG on stage, Connor's got it really easy to talk about the dome and all that comes to his mind.
And guys, and I want to appreciate the guy who put this video out to show this con. It's only 30 minutes. I'll have the link after the show. Check it out. Tell the guy thank you for putting it on. And I was just shocked that there was Connor. I mean, he actually had Connor on that panel. I was like, holy shit! All right, I like this video. I don't know if Connor knew that this video even existed, but if he doesn't, he knows it existed now. And I'll have the link and I'll send it to him. And it's kind of like, I was just shocked on how good. I'm not saying that because I know you, but when you're brand new, talking to people behind a camera is two different things. It truly is. You'd be surprised how many people panic. Listen, I had a supervisor under me that he's good at telling people rules, but he was never good at answering questions when people have questions back. He was good at forwarding the information, but he wasn't good on how to respond when other people have questions. So that's what's great about Connor. He has that gift that he knows how to talk. So guys, beyond that, man, that was awesome. I know that was an extra long Bigfoot thing today, but I thought it was perfect. Connor came on, saw himself speaking, and I know it's like, how do you judge yourself, right? You're not going to tell, oh, man, I sucked. I should have said this and this and this. But he was awesome. He did great. Beyond that, let's jump on over.
That had to be pretty cool for you to discover, though, Eric, 100%, because he didn't have many of the other speakers, at least their full parts in there. So, not to pat myself on the back, but it was probably, some of the most electric times of that day. How's it going, guys?
Remember, I was shocked.
Live on a podcast right now. Would you like to say hi to Gypsy Road?
Hello.
Hello.
They said hi to Gypsy Road. Well, I'm trying to spread the information on the sacred soil out here. The 28 trees in the Bible and gopher wood, which Noah used to build the ark. It's sacred out here.
Hey guys,
have a good one.
I was shocked, guys. I sent a link to Connor. I go, hey, I was looking at Mirror UK in the UK, United UK. I'm looking for Bigfoot footages and stuff, and then there was an article about Bigfoot in the UK, and the TikTok video they were using was from Bigfoot Anon. I mean, I was like, wow, that's awesome. I mean, in the UK, United Kingdom, web page was using Bigfoot Anon TikTok Bigfoot video for their story. And I had to send that to Connor, like, did you know this mirror company from the UK is using your TikTok video? That's awesome. I mean, all that does for him is spreads his TikTok even more, because now the people in the UK probably all clipped on it just like I did. And I wasn't even there for his video. So I thought that was awesome. Every day, man, every day you'll find breaking news somehow. But beyond that, let's go to Paranormal.
Oh, yes, man.
now we're in the paranormal, and I got a little problem. I think I can't remember which of the first footage of the paranormal I'm going to show. So I'm just going to press play, and then I'll figure out what video it is. My bad. I'm sorry about that. Here we go.
Upstairs that like to play. We have a.
Okay, I'm sorry. Now I know where this one's from. So the paranormal video I'm showing is the actual name from it. Let me get it here. It's a real life haunted house in Metro Detroit. So this is a haunted house down out in Detroit.
Older lady that sits around. Every once in a while, somebody spots her. We get a shot of her.
Now, she's not talking about people. She is talking about ghosts hanging around what some say is a real-life haunted house in Metro Detroit.
Haunted houses pop up all over the place this time of year for Halloween.
But some say the Orson Star House in Royal Oak is haunted all year round.
7 Action News reporter Simon Chowdhury went ghost hunting with a paranormal investigator.
Is there any way that you could tell us your name? Can you tell us how old you are?
And that's how one of John Tenney's investigations begin. He's a paranormal researcher seen on popular TV shows. We met with him at the Orson Star House in Royal Oak. It's been called one of the most haunted homes in our area.
When you're doing some kind of paranormal investigation, you always look for a house that has a good history, something that you can track back and find out facts and evidence about.
The house was built in 1845 by a farmer and cowbell maker, Orson Starr. Using recording devices and other technology, investigators have learned about several ghosts through EVPs, electronic voice phenomenon.
Recording now.
It is very intensely strange when you run analog or digital recorder and you know you're the only person speaking and you hear a reply.
We have kids upstairs that like to play. They do not do well with men. They do better with women. We have an older lady that sits around. Every once in a while, somebody spots her. We get a shot of her. Her name is Catherine, from what we get from the EVPs. And we also have EVPs of a gentleman downstairs, a very angry little gentleman from what we understand.
Candace Isaacson is on the Orson Star Homes Historical Society. She tells us the Star family lost 3 young children within a week in the home.
We think that that's what's haunting the upstairs. We have people that claim they're touched. We have people that claim they've been pushed down the stairs.
Candace says a visitor once kicked a ball down the stairs. The woman then immediately fell down the steps, claiming she was pushed, but no one was behind her. Could it have been one of the kids?
They're just trying to seek out some type of communication between us, and I think that we can misinterpret that as evil or bad.
We did a brief hunt using recording devices, but it seems the ghosts were pretty quiet during our visit.
I get the question all the time, what's the most haunted place that I've ever been to? The true answer to that question is any place is haunted. The most haunted place in the whole world is the world. They're all around us, everywhere that we go.
If you want to check out the Orson Star House, you can. They're hosting a ghost tour on the 22nd at 8 p.m. For more information on that, just go to our website at WXYZ.com. In Royal Oak, Simon Chowdhury, 7 Action News.
All right, do you believe in ghosts?
Some of the ghosts here at Broadcast House are pretty scary too.
It's been around a long time.
All right. Now, first of all, there was a message earlier in the chat from Daily Dan. Says RIP Howard Hesseman, known as Dr. Johnny Fever on WKRP in Cincinnati. Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't know he passed away. That sucks. I mean, that sucks. Daily Dan, thank you very much for showing that. That is breaking news. Let me type in Howard Hesseman so people can see what this guy looks like. Howard Hesseman. Howard Hesseman. Let me get an image here. So you guys, this is truly breaking news. I want to thank him very much for showing this. He's that TV show. It was, unless you're older, you're not going to remember the TV show in Cincinnati. But it was a cool kind of like the radio life of a show. I mean, it was awesome in a lot of ways. I actually used to watch this, and I don't know what it says he dies of. Let's see here. This is truly breaking news. Howard Hesseman was an American actor known for his television role as atomic disc jockey Dr. Johnny Fever in the WKRP in Cincinnati as the lead role. That sucks. Yeah. I mean, he was awesome in that role. And, you know, being a DJ back in the day, you know, it's not like being a DJ now. Back in the day, you know, these DJs had records, you know, they had records they had to play. I mean, they didn't have the breaks that they can now. They had to clean the records and the needles. I mean, it was a lot of work, more work for these DJs than it is now, because now all music is already programmed in their computer, what's going to play next. So they could play 3 songs and, you know, they go bathroom breaks and all that. Back in the original DJ days, they had to get ready for the next record. And I mean, and the record had to be put down perfectly, or you could hear skips, you could hear all that. So I have respect for DJs. I have respect for that show. And I remember that show. That was one of my shows that I watched when I was a young kid in the 80s and all that. So thank you for sharing that for us. I hate seeing people pass away. But going back to the haunted house, well, yeah, I mean, there's haunted houses everywhere. And it's kind of cool that a news channel, you know, we're showing in this haunted house. And the guy said it was pretty quiet when the investigation. One of the things I always wanted to know, I've done a few investigations, but not like tons. I always want to ask a person who does tons, because you're doing investigations, you're putting up cameras, and if the spirits are smart, if they're intelligent, if they know you're putting up all these cameras and stuff, I don't know, I would be quiet, because I want these people gone. Because more you make noises, more you do things as a spirit, they're going to come back. So in some ways, if they're highly intelligent, I don't know, why don't you shut the fuck up in a weird way? So they don't, people won't come back. I don't know. That's what I thought. But here we go. We're going to go into another video. Let me see here. What's this video called? When you do this live, it's a lot different than when you have it, you know, have it already. Historic St. Francis and Ghost Lore, Bewitches, Paranormal. Oh, cool. Here we go.
You can't walk a block in St. Augustine without hearing some kind of ghost story, right?
So we wanted to learn more about the spirits of the First Coast before Halloween. Mel found one inn where the ghosts are alive and well, or so some say, see, and hear.
All right, spirits. Is anyone in here? I'm calling you out.
R.C. Davis is a paranormal investigator.
Can you communicate with me right now?
His latest case brings him to the oldest city in the United States, St. Augustine, and some would argue the most haunted.
This particular room, Lily's room, is supposed to be the most haunted room in the inn.
He spent 2 nights at the historic St. Francis Inn. It dates back to 1791, and oh, the ghost stories that have come from the 3rd floor. Joe Finnegan, the current innkeeper, has owned the place for 30 years.
A lot of our guests will relate experiences they've had, and I always believe them.
Experiences with Lily, like this one from a contractor who now refuses to work on the 3rd floor alone.
They saw a housekeeper working in the bedroom, also an African-American housekeeper. And when he finished the work he was doing, the plumbing work he was doing, he went down to the front desk and said, I just saw our housekeeper I've never seen before. Have you hired a new housekeeper? And our manager said, no. He said, yeah, up in Garcia Suite, I saw our African-American housekeeper. He says, we don't have a new housekeeper. We don't have any African-American housekeepers.
So you think it was Lily?
I do.
There's really no historical documentation about Lily, who supposedly was a slave who worked here.
That Lily,
the story says that
Lily.
she fell in love and had a love affair with the owner's nephew. But when his uncle found out, he said they couldn't be together. She was so distraught. The legend says that she took her own life in this house, and so did he. And they say that Lily never left. Davis requested Lily's room, just like hundreds of people before him, hoping to have a ghastly encounter.
I know.
And that's a problem sometimes on the Mary ship, St. Mary. Oh, God, fuck. I can't forget. Oh, my God, forgetting the name. I spent the night there. You know, they're supposed to be the most haunted room, and they charge the most. St. Mary's haunted ship up in Los Angeles. We stayed there, I think it was 2 years ago. And we didn't stay in the most haunted room because they wanted $700-800. Listen, I'm not paying $700-800. If place is haunted, then I should hear a ghost even in my room. I'm not paying $700-800. And that's what always makes me think that if some rooms are haunted, are they doing it for money? Because I'm sure if you want to stay in Lily's room, I mean, I don't know. Maybe some of you guys in the chat can call this place up and pretend you're going to book a room and find out how much is the Lily room. My guess is probably going to be a lot more money. But beyond that, there's a guy here. Hold on. Let me see what he's here.
Charles Tingley with the St. Augustine Historical Society has done so much research that he says all the ghost stories he's heard don't add up.
I have seen nothing myself. And maybe that's the best definition, but so many of the ghost stories here in town, there's not even a kernel of truth in them. The names are not accurate. There are references to events that didn't happen. It's fiction.
Despite the skepticism, a lot of people...
See, I have problems with kind of a guy like that. You could sense that he's already, he's going to debunk everything, right? He's just a pure debunker, which you should debunk some stuff. Don't get me wrong. You should debunk some stuff. But when you have a guy who's like automatically like, oh, there's no truth in any of these stories or anything, like, okay, so there's nothing. So every single buddy coming out with a story are all wrong. Everybody, hey, listen, out of 200 people, it only takes one person, one story out of 200 to make something real. That's it. So, I don't know. I hate when there's people that are just too close-minded. Like listen, I've never shooken a Bigfoot hand. I've never played cards with a ghost. I've never been lucky like that. I've never been lucky like that. But I know they exist. So, I'll come out and say, I have never personally seen a Bigfoot up front. Of all my researches, I can say that. I can say that. But I'll make sure I also say that I know they're real. That's why I'm searching. That's why I'm looking. So it's fine to be a skeptic. You got to be a skeptic somewhat. But don't poo-poo every single thing you hear. If I hear a story that I think it's unreal, I'll say, I don't think it's real, but you never know. You never know. You always got to leave that door open. You always want to leave a slight back door open. So if the truth does come out, you're not looking like a full jackass because you left a little back door open for yourself. So that's my take on it. I know a lot of you in the chat, you feel the same way. I know a lot of you, we all haven't seen every spirit, every ghost that we want to, but we know they exist. We know that they're there. That's why we listen to these stories. And that's why I like news channels, local news channels who actually broadcast some of this stuff to get the words out there, I'm not saying everything they show is real, but there's too many stories, man, to not be real, correct? I mean, there's just way too many. Well, beyond that, let's go into the UFOs. Now, this next video is kind of a long video, so I'm not going to play the exact full video. I might show on the full screen because this story is in Japan, and there's some English, there's subtitles. So maybe I'll pull it on the big screen so you can actually read the subtitles. You see it here.
結構幻想的な感じでしょ、こうなんか。
そうですね、なんか。
Senganmori Mountain is a mystical and mysterious place.
山岳信仰とかね、昔は山をこう神様みたいな感じで見てたでしょ。見てたんですよ、日本って。
The legend is that it was created by aliens. Ever since the 1970s, residents from the nearby town of Ino, Fukushima, have reported seeing strange flying objects here.
山自体をこう
でもなぜなんですかね。なぜそんな石も。
だからそれがね UFO がこう何かね目印になってんのか。
目印。ああ。それはもう飯野町の UFO の研究者たちとかはもう宇宙人が置いたものっていうふうに信じて。
そういうふうには分かって決めてはないけどどっちかなっていうことです。
Ryuichi Aso grew up in Ino, hearing stories about the unidentified flying objects. He's dedicated his adult life to solving the mystery and now helps to run a new UFO research center at the base of Mount Senganmori.
でも飯野ってちょっと小さい町だけどそういうUFO でみんな町を盛り上げようっていうことで今まとまっていろいろねイベントやったりなんかそういうことでは楽しい町になったなと思いますけどね。
Right now we're heading to the contact deck, and this is where we can come into contact with UFOs and aliens.
ここもちょっと磁場が来るよっていう。
あ、そうなんですか。はいはい。スキルとか必要なんですか?
Okay. The reason I wanted to show this is, sometimes, we think of UFO sightings, we think of all these places just here in America, because most of us live here in America. But, when you start thinking, this is all around the world. I mean, it's kind of cool that in Japan, where that's at, they have a spot where they think it's a hot spot for UFOs. So in a lot of ways, I will have the links for this full video because it is not a short video, but it's cool to see like towns have fun, kind of like Area 51. There's that town that does UFOs. Even other countries, same way. Japan, China, Russia, every part of this world believes in this stuff. So is everybody full of shit? Not just here in America, not just here in Canada, Mexico, where we're at, United Kingdom. So it's kind of cool. That's why I like to show some of like international stuff.
出たらご選手。
もう何人も来ますよ。周りに。
Tsugiyo Kinoshita is another senior researcher at the Institute in Ino. He says he doesn't need proof to believe in UFOs because he saw one with his own eyes in 1972.
木下さんはいつ UFO を目撃したのでしょうか？
私が25の時、箕輪山の山頂付近で空にこんなものが目の前に張り付いてた。一歩踏み出して見たら消えていた。
木下さんに姿を現したと思います。
So, like I said, doesn't matter what part of the country in the world, everybody has experienced a Bigfoot, a UFO, and everything else. So that's why I was showing this. That this goes beyond just here in America. This goes beyond this world. Like I said, is everybody in the world lying? I guess it's possible, but we know what the truth is, and we know the only time you get these kind of news is from local news, because Fox News, CNN, they're never going to talk about this unless they can find a way where they can get proven ratings for themselves. So and all that. So beyond that, guys, we're going to go into Mandela effect, or is it false memories? Mandela effect or false memories? Let's get into it.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
Luke, I am your father.
right, everybody. Okay, now hold on a second. I'm sorry about that. I'm seeing. I don't know if I'm not reading the chat 100%, but I don't know if somebody is being gross or something in the chat. So I'm gonna add a couple of good friends that I know here as moderators in the chat. So if you guys seen people being gross about something, we don't, this channel is not about people being gross. They got to go. So anybody's being gross in the chat, you got to go. Now beyond that, Mandela effect, false memories. I look at it as it's fun information. It's fun to do some research. I take it as what's behind the change. What is the change? So today we're actually going to be talking about Van Halen, no green M&Ms. No green M&Ms. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So here we go.
Here's one that I came across not too long ago, and it deals with the rock band Van Halen. I remember hearing about this concert contract that Van Halen had back in the 1980s, and this became legendary. So back in 1980, Van Halen changed their rider for their tour. The rider is the contract that dictates a band's backstage requirements. And it included a demand for M&Ms with the provision that there be absolutely no green ones. If their dressing room had green M&Ms, they would know that the rider had not been read. They needed to review the stage setup for their own safety. Okay, here's where the change comes in. It used to be no green M&Ms, and it changed to no brown M&Ms. Well, while researching this, I came across a podcast called Green M&Ms and Beer, Rockstar 101 with Shim and Brandon Coates, that came out on August 5th, 2019. Well, get this. They have a memory of this writer, but their memory is that Van Halen demanded for a bowl of only green M&Ms. That is not my memory. I remember no green M&Ms. Something strange is going on here with Van Halen's
I'm going to skip this forward.
Green M&Ms. And this has kind of been a story that you hear in the rock world about a particular band. I believe it's most attributed to Van Halen. Them ordering green M&Ms, only green M&Ms, on their rider, and there's a very particular reason why they do that, and I'll let Shim explain.
When you have a big band and you got a big crew, you got a big rider, right, for the backstage area. You got lots of drinks and lots of food and lots of things like that. So what they would do is they would put somewhere close to the bottom, they would have, they wanted a bowl of green M&Ms, only green. If we find a brown M&M, we're going to cause problems. And they would show up, and they would make sure that there was a bowl of only green M&Ms, which meant that the person who was running the show had to read through the rider specifically. They had to make sure that they got everything on that rider correct. They had to buy a whole shitload of M&Ms and pick out the green ones and give them exactly what they wanted.
Okay, now, I'm not saying everything. Guys, listen. It's up to you what memories you have. Don't let anybody trying to talk you out of your own memories. It's up to you. But let me tell you the real story of the M&Ms. Some of the story is kind of wrong here. Okay, now a lot of bands, when they go to play arenas and stuff, there's contracts on what kind of stage show they're going to be doing, what's going to be installed. Okay, so a lot of bands actually have some craziness stuff that's inside of a contract. It's always there. It's there. So it's not just Van Halen that has stuff like this. A lot of bands. Okay, so the story goes. Now, this is the story that it goes, and maybe we'll talk about the Mandela side of it after the real story. Van Halen had one of the biggest stage shows in the 80s, 90s, whatever. Big lights, big stuff. They were a big production type of show. Okay? Now, the lighting systems and the stage show that they wanted to have could not, you know, a lot of the arenas were built in the 60s and 70s. So a lot of these arenas can't handle the amount of equipment that Van Halen wanted. So it's like, you know, a lot of times they will push on purpose these equipment into places that cannot handle the power and none of that. And a lot of people, a lot of people got hurt. Some people even died putting stage shows together. I mean, that's just a fact. People have died putting stage shows together. So Van Halen, you know, to make sure that everything got looked at in a contract, in the middle of the contract, they would put all M&Ms, all the brown needs to be taken out. Now, it wasn't just a bowl of just one color M&M, like that one story. It was all green. It was all that. It had different color M&Ms. It just could not have brown M&Ms. So it was a way for the band to know that they read the contract. And basically it was so they know what kind of equipment is going into this arena to make sure everything is done properly. So it was a way. And if the band comes and the brown M&Ms weren't there, they would like destroy the room that they're in. Not like destroy it, like pure destruction. They would throw food on the walls. They would throw everything on the walls. And it was more of a joke kind of way, but it was a way to make sure that they read the contract. And in that contract, if there were brown M&Ms, they had the right to not do the show and still get paid for it. So it was a lot of cool little different ways. But now, where was it like where the legend began? Like what? Why did that make the news? Well, there was an arena. Okay. Now I don't know if you guys heard this story or not, and this is the story that kind of made the M&Ms a legend. There was a brand new type of flooring they were putting for a basketball game, like a basketball flooring. They were making this flooring out of leather, basketball leather, that new kind of a material. So it wasn't wood. It was like a sponge. You guys, I mean, every stadium has like almost now. But back when Van Halen was touring, it was like brand new. So they put this new flooring down, brand new flooring down. So Van Halen comes in, and they're putting up their stage. You know, backstage, David Lee Roth went into the locker room or their stage room, whatever you want to call it, and there was no brown M&Ms. He saw no brown, so he threw stuff on the walls. He threw food. You know, they did that. It was their fun way. So David Lee Roth caused about $250 worth of damages of food, cleaning. Nothing super major. It wasn't something very bad. Now, the stage was put on the new flooring. It crushed the flooring because it was the first time they ever had a stage on this flooring, to the point where the damage that the stage show caused this new flooring came out to almost $500 million. And this is in the 80s. If it was now, it's probably even more. So when somebody was reporting this story, they heard about David Lee Roth destroying a staging room. Somehow, the $500 million got linked to David Lee Roth and the brown M&Ms. That he caused the $500 million damage to the flooring. So that became legendary. David Lee Roth. I can't remember what city it was. David Lee Roth cost $500 million. No, he did not. He only cost $250. But the stage was put together on his new flooring. Now, of course, the flooring was covered by the insurance. So it was all, at the end of the day, it was all good and stuff. But they learned that if they're going to do a concert, they have to remove that section of the floor because it crushes. It broke. It was, new kind of material. So it made it legendary. David Lee Roth cost $500 million. But it did not. Of course, it did not. So somebody took the story and then mixed the two together, and that's how the Van Halen story got legendary. Now, of course, the Mandela effect side of it, people remember it wasn't brown M&Ms, it was green M&Ms. I know some people who remembers it was red M&Ms. Now, the color of the M&Ms, I mean, if somebody asked me what color, I'm probably was going to guess green because that was the easiest to spot in a bowl instead of brown. But if somebody said it was brown, I would have said, "Oh, okay, it was brown M&Ms." Now, the part that's a Mandela effect for me is not the color of the M&Ms. Like I said, guys, this is my memory. This is my memory, and you can make fun of me all you want. But now the story came from David Lee Roth during his era of Van Halen about the M&Ms. Somehow, for whatever reason, I remember Sammy Hagar and Eddie Van Halen telling that M&M story on MTV. So my memory came from when it was Sammy Hagar in the band, but it never was Sammy Hagar. It was actually David Lee Roth. Now, why do I have that memory crisscross? I can't tell you. Or Sammy Hagar is not going to retell a story about M&Ms that David Lee Roth has. Sammy is too proud. Is too proud of David Lee Roth. I remember them being called M&Ms, not M&Ms. I've heard that too. Thank you, Mandela Affected. Thank you. So there's so many different Mandela effects within this one thing, not just the color of the M&Ms. Why do I remember Sammy Hagar? I want to know. Did I see? I don't know. It's weird, right? Memories are weird. No memory. No memory is I ate them all. Don't take the look at them, laugh out loud. See, that's why I have fun with these. I don't try to fall into no rabbit hole, none of that. People, like I said, people could come up to me and give me every reason why I'm thinking of Sammy over David. You can tell me every reason why, but for whatever reason, my memory is always going to be that story came from Sammy Hagar, which is weird for me, which is a trip. And when I saw Hazel did this, and I love Hazel Fever stuff, and I looked at it, and like, David Lee Roth, and I looked at videos, David Lee Roth told this story. Where did Sammy go? So that was a strange one for me. And guys, remember, it's your memory. It's nobody else's memory. It's your memory. So, and like I said, when you guys don't make fun of the Mandela effect, if you don't like it, that's fine. But I look at it as this, guys. This is how I always look at Mandela effect. If there's a change, if you feel there's a change, ask yourself, then take your mind off. This is false. No, fuck that. Get the false memory out of your mind. Get over. Ask yourself this. If you feel there's a change, ask yourself, why is there a change? I always say every Mandela effect is a personal thing for a person. Why is there a change? Why is it changing for you? And try to go through it that way. Research it why. Even though you might not ever find the exact answer, you'll find a lot of good information, a lot of good studies, a lot of things that you might not even know. There's history in everything. Like I said, just doing this show today, Mandela Affected, reminding me that, some people remember M&M's was actually MNM, And now when I go study it deeper, I'm going to see, is there a connection with the MNM with the MNM? And Hazel Fever, thank you for talking about the change with the green M&Ms. Thank you for that video, because Hazel, because you put that video out, I knew about the colors of the M&Ms in the Mandela effect. But when I was researching it for fun for myself, when I saw that this David Lee Roth telling the story, it blew me away, because I remember it was Sammy Hagar. It was Sammy. Why? And that's what I'm asking myself. Why? Why do I think it was Sammy? And I'm going to research it. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to dig deep into it. I'm going to, like I said, I learned about the floorings, about the electronics. I even learned more deeply how the legends began with the M&Ms, with the crush of the flooring. Maybe that's the message for me. Maybe that's what the change for Sammy was for me, to go in deeper and dig in deeper into it, And overall, Van Halen is a fantastic band. Eddie, I've been lucky in my life to see Eddie Van Halen play about 3 times on stage. I saw Van Halen about 3 times. I saw Van Halen once with David Lee Roth, and I saw Van Halen twice with Sammy Hagar. I saw David Lee Roth solo, and they all offered different shows. And at the end of the day, Van Halen's music is forever. I mean, I just, I love Van Halen, and I love the Roth era. I love the Sammy Hagar era. If I had to choose an era over the one, I've always said I'm going to choose Sammy, because I love the Sammy sing was so real. And I loved when Van Halen decided to try different things, and they had a singer that could do that. I mean, that's the main reason. But the stuff that David did, I mean, the Hand of Rock, the Cradle Will Rock. I mean, that fucking guitar sound. I mean, the very first Van Halen album with the eruptions. I mean, it's just great. And Van Halen needed to change singers. They really did, because the studios wanted Van Halen to play too many cover tunes. And David Lee Roth loved cover tunes. That's what made Eddie come up with 5150 studio. So he keep the studio out. So they have more control of the music. But of course, David had his other band behind Van Halen while they were still together, with Steve Vai and Billy Sheehan. And of course, he was doing an EP that had 2 covers. I'm Just a Gigolo, California Girls. So it was a total different direction. So it was perfect, because you got to experience both sides of the music that Eddie wanted to do. So I appreciated the both singers. But why do I remember Sammy and the Eminems, not David? I guess that's the research I'm going to have to do. Guys, that's what I love about the Mandela Effect, people. It's fun history to learn. Don't fall down a rabbit hole. Don't let it take you down a rabbit hole. If you hear a Mandela Effect, if you feel there's a change for you, find out why. That's the research. That's the connection. Why did it change for me? And if you hear something that is not a change for you at all, don't worry about it. Skip it on. Skip it. Don't be rude about a change. Don't be rude to people, because every change, every memory is different for each person. So beyond that, guys, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate Bigfoot Anon jumping on for a little bit under the Bigfoot segment. And beyond that, guys, I love you all. And I'll be back tomorrow with another breaking news.